Unfortunately, very much unfortunately, there was a protest planned in Melbourne, but it was sabotaged by Victoria Police, okay? We all know why. We've all seen what happens at protests here in Melbourne, and the scenes get very ugly very quickly. Not because the protesters are violent, because we've seen the use of force from Victoria Police to the likes of which we've never seen before. We've seen elderly women beaten to the ground and sprayed. We've seen the use of what is described as non-lethal weapons, which I say have the capability to kill. And I dare say this is why the protest scene in Melbourne has been very quiet. Now we have our very own Anthony Lev, who was apprehended by public order response. He produced a great live video, classic Lev style, roasting the police, doing what he does, standing up for his civil liberties. I have just a short clip that goes for 2 or 3 minutes, detailing some of the exchanges Anthony had with public order response, and then you'll hear from Anthony himself.
Public order response team right there. Here we go. For what reason? For what reason? Sorry, for what reason? Am I free to go? For what reason?
No, you're not free to go. So
okay, what's the reason? No, but
your ID, please.
For what reason?
Because I'm asking you.
Yeah, but I need a reason for that.
Because of COVID restrictions. Can I get you?
Again, we're finding out why you don't have a mask. There's some chief health officer's condition.
Okay, but I was stopped first before I was given a reason for being stopped.
Again?
Yeah.
No,
I'm just being nice. I'm being nice. I'm a peaceful person.
What's the purpose of the flag?
It's my property. Like, it's a good. I like the flag. It's
a good
it's
flag.
nice. Thank you. It says "Don't tread on me."
Don't tread on me.
Yeah, it's a freedom flag. It was born out of the American Revolution.
Okay.
Yep. Processing team. How many to process? Like 5 or 6.
It's just officers again.
A bunch of people with guns surrounding me. You know. It says I can't have a flag. Can you please show me that?
What's that?
Can you show me the direction that says I can't carry a flag? No, wait. What? This stole my property. You guys are thieves.
You'll be able to get it back.
Yeah, but what's the point? What are they going to do? Oh, RIP flag. Just stole my property. How do I get it back?
Yeah, well, I'll sort that out.
But what's the point of taking it in the first place? What's the point of taking it in the first place? You guys have committed a crime against. I need to report a theft. Can I please report a theft? I need to report a theft.
You just want to wait a few moments, Anthony. We'll get you all the information that you need.
Okay, but
Now what we just witnessed there, ladies and gentlemen, I consider nothing less than harassment and robbery in broad daylight. Now I have an interview here with Anthony. Many of you know Anthony for his advocacy work, standing up for our rights. Anthony is a business owner based here in Melbourne. He is an entrepreneur in the industry of music and entertainment. His business has been severely crippled by these horrendous policies. We love having Anthony on the show. He'll be back really soon for a complete Lev report. But what I have here is a 9-minute discussion between Anthony and myself regarding the events of Saturday here in Melbourne and the absolute shambolic state of affairs in the state of Victoria. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined here by Anthony Lev. Now, Anthony, as you know, there's been protests all over the country. There was a protest in Melbourne over the weekend. But as it turned out, you were actually not able to get into the protest. So walk us through it. What happened?
Yeah, well, first of all, I didn't actually make it into the protest location because I was stopped by 6 public order response team officers as I was walking in. So what I was doing, I was with a group of about 10 people and walking down Sydney Road. I was doing my live stream because I like to live stream a few particular key moments of the protest, the start being one of them. Had my flag, don't tread on me, the Gadsden flag out and about. And it didn't take long for 3 public order response team cars to flash their lights, pull over. One guy jumps out and starts pretty much immediately requesting my identification, which I kept asking him at least 5 times. I think you can see at the start of the video. that, for what reason? Because they can't just arbitrarily ask for your details. They need a probable cause still. I wasn't wearing a face mask. He could have said something like that. That's fair enough. But he didn't. And then he ended up saying something along the lines of that it was just a random check, or I can't remember his exact words, but it was along the lines of that. So a bit dodgy, a bit of a mistake on his part straight away.
Yeah.
So then from there, I was just obviously surrounded by 6 members of Port, and I think later on a couple of other normal police officers rocked up, and they had me for about half an hour, just asking the normal questions. What are you doing out? All this kind of stuff. I said, yeah, I'm here to protest a corrupt government. I'm just fundamentally there exercising my rights. I'm born and raised in Melbourne. It's the city I grew up in, and I'm just there to walk around, exercise my rights, attend a protest because we have disagreement with what the government is doing. So it happened for half an hour. So, I like a bit of humour, so you take the opportunity. I live streamed it all. They did some pretty absurd things like taking my flag away from me. Allegedly,
what was their reason for doing that?
Well, apparently because it's against the chode directions to protest, and the flag was going to be used in the protest. It somehow gave them the right to take it off me. So I immediately said, well, my clothes are being used in a protest, so do you want those too? And I can walk down the street naked. But then I immediately called out the nonsense of the idea of them taking my property in the first place. Because if we're in an alleged deadly pandemic, which these officers are trying to stop a gathering from happening, why is my flag, my property, being handled by a police officer not wearing gloves?
Yeah, and whatever gathering you were or weren't involved in, all of those police officers surrounding you, they made the gathering even bigger. So why do you think it took so long? If they wanted to give you a fine or a move on order, I don't understand why they didn't just do that straight away, get it over and done with, instead of holding you up and standing around in a big crowd. I don't know, man. Why do you reckon they did that?
It makes no sense. And I even pointed it out. I said, how come you guys are basically gathering in these numbers? And the reason was they're working. So I said, does the virus know the difference, or does it understand the difference? Like, how does it know? So, and yeah, but on top of that, now I've got to go to the police station and pick up my flag. So they're adding all these extra nonsensical steps in, which all these directions that have been in force were to reduce contact with people. So why are they just nonsensically adding this extra step where I have to actually interact with other human beings in a supposed deadly pandemic? I think they just took the flag just out of spite, just to get back at me, because it's not the first time they've had me surrounded, and I give them a bit of back and forth. I think people around the world just need to see the absurdity of what's going on, the complete nonsensical policy they're enforcing, and the contradictions within that policy, but fundamentally the fact that we can't even walk around our own city outdoors in the fresh air without being stopped by police officers.
It's absolutely disgraceful. And we hear the Premier, right, Daniel Andrews, banging on all the time about it's all about restricting movement, and we have Victoria Police increasing your movement. Do you think that they'll be receiving some sort of fine in the mail for increasing movement during an alleged deadly pandemic? What do you reckon?
Of course not, man. These guys are immune from both COVID-19, but also immune from any consequence of their decision, apparently. Like, they basically can do what they want, and the police officers know that they're a protected species. It's very difficult to get justice against wrongdoing when you've had a wrongdoing against you by police officers, in which I've been it's on my mind recently. I think one of the things that's happened over the last, say, year or year and a half that protesting's accomplished, and the filming of the police, shout out to the Aussie Cossack to film the police, it's exposed the corruption in the police force, and the, rather than the Victoria Police being a separate entity from the government upholding the right of individuals, it seems to be a political arm of the government, which is very corrupt. And they're basically just doing what the government tells them to do. So I think the brutal actions of the police force to members of the public over the last year and a half, and this ongoing enforcement of government directives, has really exposed what was probably always there in the police force. Like, we've known there's corruption there, but these protests and the filming of what's going on has really exposed, not to just to us on a local level, but internationally, the problems within Victoria Police and their relationship with the Victorian government, which is hugely problematic for a society that is meant to be democratic and free.
Yeah, I echo your sentiments 100%. Now, let me ask you this, one of our final questions here. If this continues unchecked, where do you see Victoria and Australia heading, say, over the next 5-10 years?
That's a good question, actually. The question is, can Victoria continue down this path on their own, separate to what other states in Australia are doing, or will something similar transpire Australia-wide? Because we have seen heavy-handedness in New South Wales as well, and so because the other states and their behaviour will put pressure on Victoria and affect things moving forward. So it's really tough to say where it's going to go. But I mean, obviously, if it continues, hypothetically, if it does continue down this path, it's only going to strengthen the police state and remove rights from individuals. Because the combination of Victoria Police just enforcing whatever the government tells them to do, and the knowledge that these police officers have that they can virtually get away with absolutely anything. We both have a friend who's had his back broken by the police. Other people have been injured by the police, aggressively assaulted. They feel like they can put their hands on anybody and get away with it. And then not only that, the intimidation tactics, which they seem to have dropped, the visits to the house maybe before protests. But yeah, that's problematic in itself, and I'm not sure how to fix it, because if governments keep getting in power, knowing that the police are just going to do what they want, that's pretty much how police states operate.
Yeah, absolutely. Something needs to be done. I definitely have a lot of concerns myself if we continue down this path of unchecked political and police power. It's very concerning. But anyway, Anthony, thank you very much for your recap, and we hope to see you soon for a full Lev report. That would be great.
That will be happening very soon. We'll get that cracking very soon. Get Lev report up and running, and get some regular content.
Love it. What are we up to now? Is it Lev report 6 or 7?
I think it's 6.
All right, love it. All right, well, can't wait, my friend. Chat to you soon.
Thanks, Morgan.
See you, mate. All right, a massive thank you to Anthony. Anthony is an absolute legend. I can tell you, out of all the people that I've met since the inception of this corona situation, people doing great advocacy work, standing up against this absolute tyranny from the government, Anthony, I have to say, has been one of the most staunch from the beginning. He's always standing up, and I'm telling you right now, this man is very courageous, and we love his insight and commentary and hope to have him back on the show really, really soon.